You can't.
Aye?
Try the one on the other side. See if that's any better.
Good evening, members, and welcome to Castle Point Council's Cabinet meeting, which is actually the last one of 2025. Members, we're not expecting a fire drill this evening, so if the fire alarm does go off during the meeting, please leave immediately by the nearest emergency exit and gather outside Runnymede Hall. Cabinet members, please introduce yourself, starting on the right-hand side with Councillor Warren Gibson.
Thank you, Chair. Councillor Warren Gibson, Deputy Leader of the Council and Cabinet Member for LGR.
Good evening, Councillor Steve Mountford, Cabinet Member for Resources.
Good evening, Councillor Tim Copsey, Cabinet Member for Strategic Planning.
Thank you, Leader. Good evening all. Councillor Rob Lillis, Cabinet Member for Health, Wellbeing and Housing.
Evening all. Councillor Tom Gibson, Cabinet Member for Special Projects and Assets.
Good evening all. Councillor Russ Savage, Cabinet Member for People and Community.
Good evening everybody. Councillor Barry Palmer, Cabinet Member for Economic Growth and Climate Action.
Thank you, members. Sonia, have we any apologies for absence?
We have apologies from Councillor Fuller.
Thank you, Sonia. Agenda item 2, any declarations of interest? No. Thank you, members. Item 3, minutes of the meeting held on November the 19th, 2025. Members, it's okay I sign the minutes of being a true reflection of the meeting. Thank you very much. Agenda item 4, members' questions on notice. Members, there are none. Agenda item 5, the Castle Point Plan Submission for Examination in Public Regulations. Councillor Warren Gibson, please introduce the item.
Thank you, Chairman. If you don't mind, Chairman, I may do this one slightly different, as I'm aware that we will be going to full council and this report will be getting discussed in full. So I'm happy if you would just like to move the recommendations. Thank you, Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Have we got a seconder? Is that agreed, members, that it goes to full council? Thank you very much. Agenda item 6, the quarter finance update. Councillor Mountford, could you please introduce your report?
Thank you, Leader. The Quarter 2 financial update for 25-26. First of all, the general fund revenue position. Forecast outturn position has improved by £334,000 since the last quarter, with the forecast overspend reducing from £852,000 down to £518,000. The main driver for the council's overspend is the significant increase in temporary accommodation, which has been experienced largely since last Christmas and is commonplace across the country. Some would say is completely attributable to how poorly the country is being managed, leaving local authorities with the burden of helping people in such sad circumstances. Across various services, the Council continues to accrue savings from staff vacancies, with agency staff being utilised where required to ensure the vacancies do not have a detrimental impact on service delivery. There are two notable movements since the first quarter. Temporary accommodation is a forecast overspend but reduced by £118,000 since the first quarter, with the Council continuing to model two different scenarios and taking the average of these as the adopted forecast position. There is an additional £52,000 of income being forecast within the year. Second relates to income at community halls, and this reflects the increased utilisation of halls, in particular the newly refurbished paddocks, where large events are now being held and is being very well received by the community. The general fund capital position, there is a significant change in the forecast position. Last quarter was forecast spend to be in line with budget, but the latest position is a forecast underspend of 3.7 million, which relates mostly to the Council's vehicle replacement programme now being forecast slippage into next year. This is due to the vehicles being ordered now expected to be delivered in the following financial year in April 2026 rather than March. There are also delays in confirming the future of waste service delivery model, meaning other vehicles have not yet been ordered and therefore won't be delivered in this financial year. There is also a £611,000 slippage on Abbeyfield House scheme. Tendered prices for the refurbishment have come in higher than budgeted, and therefore re-engineering of the scheme and a review of this project management arrangements means this will now not complete until the next financial year. Councillors will recall that earlier this year we purchased a new vehicle workshop on Roscommon Way in Canvey. Since purchase, work has been ongoing to bring the building into operating state. There is some slippage due to delays in the internal build and fit out, meaning £200,000 is now expected to be spent in the next financial year. Finally, the Council's new CRM system, which has just gone live, has had some expenditure slippage into 26-27 of £165,000 and also an underspend of £133,000 as the winning tender came in under budget. The HRA revenue and capital combined results. Most of these areas are forecast in no variance position at the end of Q2. Significant work continues on delivering the housing improvement programme and ensuring that required works can be delivered within budget, or if there is further budget required, that this is clearly understood. The output from this work will be reflected within the next quarterly report. Debt owing to the Council. Last quarter was the first time this information had been reported by the Council as part of openness and transparency, which is to start comparing quarter-on-quarter movements. For quarter two, there is a reduction in the level of overdue debt of £128,000 since last quarter. Work continues across all areas of debt to actively manage and reduce balances owed to the Council. That completes my report. Thank you, Leader.
Thank you, Councillor Mountford. Members, are there any questions? No questions. Then members, there are 4 recommendations set out in paragraph 3.1. Is that noted? Thank you, members. Agenda item 7, the corporate performance scorecard. Councillor Mountford again. Please introduce your report.
Thank you, Leader. So the idea of this is to provide you with an overview on the Council's performance against the corporate scorecard for quarter 2 25-26. The main item to note here is the void turnaround time on housing. They're currently working on a new process to accelerate the turnaround time process, which will provide information on progress of repairs and completions. This information will then be fed back to the allocations and housing register team. This will enable us to pre-plan any allocation work and upload information so residents are able to bid whilst the rest of the planned work is carried out. It's worth noting, since the report, we have looked at current performance of our 28 days against a target of 20. It is slightly over, but in comparison, the national average is 42 days. So we are still well under the national average. All other items remain for noting. Thank you, Leader.
Thank you, Councillor Mountford. Members, are there any questions? No questions? Okay, members, is that noted? Thank you very much. Agenda item 8, the report from Overview and Scrutiny Committee. Members of the Chair of Overview and Scrutiny, Councillor Watson, is unable to attend this evening. So can I call on Councillor Stuart Jarvis, Officer Stuart Jarvis, Assistant Director of Environment, please introduce this item.
Thank you, Chair. A report reviewing the Council's ground maintenance, street cleansing and building cleansing services was presented to Overview and Scrutiny on the 1st of December 2025. The purpose of the report was to provide information on the effectiveness of the services and the contract that undertakes those services to address the needs of the borough, the contract's value for money, the quality of the work undertaken by Pinnacle FM Limited, workforce management and compliance by Pinnacle FM Limited, the effectiveness of the contract penalties, oversight of the contract and services by the Council's officers and portfolio holder, and future service delivery options for the services. The services cover grounds maintenance, which is verge cutting, maintenance of our parks and open spaces, sports pitches, cemeteries and SSSI sites, street cleansing with litter removal, fly tipping, graffiti removal, bin emptying and sweeping, and building cleansing of our communal housing areas, public convenience and council offices. The services, as mentioned, is undertaken by Pinnacle FM Limited. The contract started on the 1st of March 2023 and ends on the 29th of February 2028, but it can be extended up to 5 years. As a local authority under the Environmental Protection Act, we have a statutory obligation for street cleansing. The report also notes items around value for money and the quality of the work through key performance indicators. For litter, and this is for 24-25, 13% of streets inspected were unsatisfactory. The target is 20%, so that was met. Removals of fly tipping within 24 hours. The target is 90%, and we reached 99%. And detritus graded A and B, the target is 80%. So the target is 90% and we achieved 80%. So an improvement plan is in place for those. And in terms of service requests, i.e. items raised by the public, 98% of those were completed within the time frame. The report also looked at the compliance and penalties. Information is provided in the report in relation to the financial defaults for the contract life so far. And future service delivery options post February 2028. There are a number of options in there that need to be considered, and the key consideration for these will be local government reorganisation. At the meeting, Overview and Scrutiny made recommendations which can be found in the report from ONS, and these cover further data in respect of Pinnacle's performance and further information relating to value for money. The recommendation to Cabinet is to resolve to note the contents of the report, and I'm happy to take any questions, Chair.
Thank you. Members, any questions? No questions? Okay then, members, is that report noted? No. Thank you very much. Members, that concludes the formal business for this evening, and the meeting closed at 6. Roughly, because my watch is stopped. So members, I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I'll see you in about